What's up, basketball fans? This is your boy JP. Today's story is going to be about the 1984 NBA Finals. Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson facing off for the first time since their college days in the NCAA championship. Still the most watched game in NCAA history. Personally, in my opinion, Magic versus Bird is the biggest storyline in the history of the NBA. Such a classic battle between two legends. So hopefully everybody enjoys this story.
It was always Magic Bird, Magic Bird. Ever since Indiana State and Michigan State played, it's been that way.
And in 1984, they'd finally meet in the NBA Finals.
At least we got the game in our court, and our fans will be hyped up, and it'll be fun.
You know, we were the favorites, and we made our way. They won the East, we won the West. So it's like everybody just get ready, sit back, and let's enjoy it.
It was an incredible buildup, and the world was watching because now it finally came down to these two players that are looked at somewhat as saviors of the league in Larry Bird and Magic Johnson coming together for the first time to do battle.
It was huge. It was probably the biggest moment the NBA had up to that point. You had Boston and LA, East against West. It had all the elements of a classic showdown.
It's finally going to happen. We get to go head to head again.
Two outlaws that didn't get along.
I hated him. I hated Larry. I mean, it just went like that. And no other word to really use.
It's just a matter of rolling that ball out there and let's get it on.
Abdul-Jabbar had come down with a serious migraine, missed practice, and was not expected to be at his best. But it was the Lakers who got off quickly.
We knew we were the better team. We just had to prove it on the court. So we went out there, and we were just 2 steps quicker than they were.
Man, we jumped out on them that first game.
Coach Pat Riley ran his team with precision, and the Lakers ran off to a 20-6 lead and never looked back. Casey Jones tried to slow down the Laker drive, but it was Abdul-Jabbar who set the tone of the game. Though consistently double-teamed, he hit the open man, rebounded, and led the Lakers in scoring despite the effects of the migraine. It was an overpowering performance. And Celtics center Robert Parrish, who had not faced a dominating big man so far in the playoffs, simply could not handle it.
They came off one day's plane ride and then just started right off and going at us. And they just went out and just took the game away from us in that first quarter.
Kareem finished with 32 points.
And we won in Boston.
They really couldn't catch up with us that first game, and I think that kind of shocked them.
The Celtics had been stunned by Game 1 and held practice behind closed doors in an attempt to regroup. Something had to be done. On defense, Casey Jones had developed a strategy to deal with Kareem. The Celtics helped Parrish by putting 2 and sometimes 3 men on the Lakers center, dropping off a guard and sometimes a forward to stop the big man. In the first half, the strategy worked as the Celtics pried the ball loose and led by as many as 15 points. But the Lakers came back and with time running down, forced a turnover and raced for the basket to cut the lead to 2 at the half. As the game seesawed, Boston led by 1 late in the fourth quarter when James Worthy went over his defenders for the score. He was fouled and made the free throw for a 2-point Laker lead. With 20 seconds left, Kevin McHale was fouled and had a chance to tie the game, but he missed both free throws, and the Lakers got the rebound and called time.
The second game was the same way. We had them.
We believe in the leprechaun. We need luck. We need something on our side to make this happen. So we were sitting there saying, we gotta find a way. We got to find a way.
All we got to do is get the ball across the timeline, and the game is over. And so I throw it to James Worthy.
I remember standing on the sidelines at the time and seeing what Worthy was about ready to do and see the Boston defender anticipating that, thinking, no, please don't throw that pass.
We could have had him in game 2, but a bad pass by me.
Worthy threw the pass across court. Gerald Henderson steals it.
Worthy was scared. He was scared. He didn't want to shoot that ball at that time. He wasn't a good free throw shooter. He was trying to get that ball out of his hands. And he wasn't big game James then. He was more small game James.
We just went into shock. We were in disbelief, and we played like that afterwards.
From that point on, things began to crumble.
Cheesy Johnson dribbling the timeout. What are you doing?
We never really recovered from that. And they end up winning that game.
Leprechauns are alive and well, man. And don't ever let anybody tell you. Just like Santa Claus, alive and well.
I look back on my career, there are a number of moments that just are right there. That being probably one of the number one for me. And that changed the whole dynamic of the series.
I just think our guys were angry. There was some ridicule about the loss and how we, gave them that ball game, that we wanted to come out and play in front of our home crowd and make sure that, we weren't going to lose that home court advantage.
Rambis is the working class of the NBA. And in the third game, his coach, Pat Riley, said he was decisive.
He established an aggressive posture for us at the beginning of the game with the way he played, and it was contagious for our players. That's his job. That's his role. And that in itself is a talent. Hustle is a talent.
Rambis's rebounding and scoring sparked the Laker fast break. And in front of the hometown fans, L.A. went on a roll and ran the Celtics ragged.
Waves. It was waves of fast break. It was a track meet.
We weren't going to let Larry Bird and his crew beat Magic and his crew. It was just that simple.
We were taking hooks, body shots. We were in the clinch. That's all we could do was stand against the ropes and just take it.
This has to be one of the most decisive routes in championship game history.
We went in the locker room and Larry made the famous statement that we played like sissies.
We got some great players on this team, but we don't have the players with the heart sometimes that we need.
I was sitting right next to him. And he said in his mad, angry Indiana accent.
Today, when you see Magic slapping high fives and guys going behind their back and shooting layups on us all day long, it seems that somebody would try to put a stop to it. But until we get our hearts where they belong, we're in trouble.
He challenged all of our manhood publicly, and he had never done that before.
He said, hey, we need to meet these guys in the parking lot and start the fight out there.
Lakers were loose, confident, and happy. As far as they were concerned, they'd won all 3 games. The second game loss, a minor slip-up. The Lakers' championship chances were looking excellent. Celtics were talking tough.
I was up in my office at the Forum, and they came back late in the afternoon, had a practice, and I could hear them yelling and screaming and cussing down there on the court, even though I wasn't spying on them. You could just hear them from where my offices were.
We were stretching and getting ready for the game, and the comment was, this dunk fest is embarrassing. We got to take somebody out.
ML was working on Kevin, and the whole time they're saying, boy, if I was in that game, I'd go in there and I'd just do something to somebody. Kevin's like, yeah. Like one was like, yeah. I'll do it.
For Game 4, the Forum fans were unusually vocal, and the Celtics' bravado was matched by the Lakers' easy confidence. The Lakers continued right where they left off, running to a 10-point halftime lead. They were looking spectacular. Casey Jones knew that unless he changed strategy, Boston would lose to the Los Angeles high style of Showtime finesse.
We got in each other's face to a man and said there would be no more layups. No more layups in this series.
In the heat of the moment, Boston developed a battle plan.
When Kurt Rambis got taken out,
first thought that went through my head was like, hey, I'm okay. Now you got to get up and do something about this, Kurt. And then I was going after Kevin McHale to do whatever was going to come into my mind at that time.
Kevin was so nervous. He was shaking. It was like unbelievable. When we told him, you did what you had to do.
When you catch something, you got to knock it down, to slow it down. And that's what they did.
We started fighting instead of playing.
And just all hell broke loose.
Larry and Kareem got into it. And then Larry was taking the ball out of bounds. Michael Cooper was trying to guard him. Larry kicked him back and kicked him into the stands. It was awesome. Got into a verbal thing with Magic, and I said to him, step across this line. If I come on the floor, I'm in trouble. But you come across here, I'm going to flatten you in the floor.
ML didn't want to fight me. Remember that. You write that down.
Our reaction was too personal. We should have reacted as a team on the court. We tried to deal with it personally and individually, and that didn't work for us.
It was a great strategy move to take us out of our game.
It made us realize we were not mentally tougher than the Celtics.
The Lakers ran, but the Celtics clawed back, using anger as motivation. And by the end of the third quarter, they had sliced the Laker lead to 2. Dennis Johnson was key in the resurgence, and the Celtics crashed the board. Robert Parrish, who had been outplayed all series, emerged from his shell and began to make his presence felt. The game was tight the whole fourth quarter, but the physical pounding paid off for Boston. When after scoring 32 points, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fouled out. The Lakers led by 2, and Larry Bird's 2 free throws tied the game with 16 seconds left to play. The Lakers had several options and enough time to operate, but just barely.
Magic's just not himself.
Tragic Johnson's what we called him then, because he made a couple of bad plays.
There are a number of places where, Irvin didn't do what people expected him to do.
With Larry leading the way, Boston would claw their way into overtime. Now it was the Lakers who were reeling, and Larry was ready to deliver the knockout blow.
Casey drawing up the play for coming out of the huddle, and Larry turned and said, you guys want to win the game? Just give me the ball and get out of the way.
Gets it over to DJ. Bird goes right into the pivot. Now DJ holds the ball. Back in the Bird. The ball away is gone. Boston leads 125 to 123, and the Lakers call timeout.
It was almost like vindication for Larry Bird that, hey, you might have won during college, but you know what? Here's my opportunity now.
10 seconds left, James Worthy was fouled. His 2 free throws could tie the game again. He missed the first, and the LA fans could feel the game slipping away. Maxwell fueled the fire, and Kareem couldn't bear to watch, and Worthy hit the next one. The Lakers quickly fouled Dennis Johnson, who made his 2, and LA set up for a 3-point attempt.
Some guy came off the bench, made a steal, went down and dunked the ball, sealed the victory. I'm not going to tell you who it was.
Stolen by N.L. Cobb. And the Boston Celtics have even this NBA World Championship Series.
Last time you were quoted as saying you guys played like sissies. What's the word you use for the team now from this game?
Well, we just play like a bunch of women tonight. We can still play a lot harder.
And I feel so bad for Magic Johnson after Game 4. You could just see the look on his face, looking so disgusted, and seeing the Boston Celtics take that victory. But I could tell you what could help Magic Johnson feel better back in the day is getting that new Chillman Plus Electric Force Shaver by Manscaped, placing the power of a barbershop quality shave in the palm of your hand. Whether you're suiting up for a boardroom, getting ready for a date, or even setting up for cuffing season, the Chillman Plus delivers professional grade performance tailored to your style and its luxury reinvented for the modern man who demands more. Ready to step up? Join the 12 million men who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com and using the code ItzJP to get 20% off and free shipping. So what makes the Chillman Plus stand out? Well, it's all about versatility and precision, just like Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson is very versatile and very precise with the basketball and can play any position. The Chillman Plus is just the same way in terms of versatility and precision. Comes with 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads to make your build look tremendous. Use the 3-blade foil for a close, smooth shave when you want to go completely clean, or you can use the precision trimmer attachment to redefine details and to create defined edges for your neckline, jawline, and sideburns. Designed with skin-safe technology to help reduce razor pain and irritation, so your skin feels smooth and comfortable after every shave, reducing redness or discomfort. Delivering a superior shave while staying gentle on your neck. It ensures seamless contact with your skin at every angle for unmatched precision. Is waterproof, letting you shave right in the shower and rinse off easily in the sink. Is powerful enough to tackle up to 3-day growth, whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. Has a convenient travel lock so you can take it anywhere you go. Manscaped is doing a 30-day money-back guarantee so you can try risk-free. Get the Chillman Plus today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code ItzJP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code ItzJP at manscaped.com.
The next day, Friday, June 4th, 1984, and the temperature at game time inside the garden is 97 degrees Fahrenheit, and there was no air conditioning.
Ordered a couple of air conditioning things to try to cool off the locker room, portable ones, plugged them in, blew the circuits in Boston Garden.
So now it's already 100 degrees. They got the heat turned up. Ooh, you thought you was in this, a sauna.
And with Kareem taking that oxygen, and just like, okay, we got him now.
You didn't feel like you were breathing air. It was like You were breathing something, but it wasn't having any effect in your lungs.
It was almost unbearable. It really was. By far, I've spent time in Texas. I've lived in Texas. I've never been that hot. It was smothering.
While we were all out there dying, from you can't breathe, it was 100 degrees in Boston Garden.
Dennis Johnson maintained his cool. Game 4 had shown the Celtics that they could in fact win this thing. And the key was the decision to put Dennis Johnson on Magic Johnson. DJ stuck to him like sweat, always there. He pushed Magic outside, didn't let him set up the Laker offense. Frustrated him openly. DJ's offense, which had been dormant, came to life as he hit from the outside and penetrated the sticky Laker defense. The veteran warmed to the task, and after leading by only 2 at halftime, the Celtics began to pull away. But the guy who really buried the Lakers was Larry Bird. Having criticized his teammates, the Celtic captain took it upon himself to leave them, moving without the ball, hitting from all over the court, bustling for position underneath. He played a brilliant all-round game.
He looked fresh as a daisy.
Larry Bird, this game is Larry Bird's. I mean, he's doing everything.
Casey Jones loved his competitive fight.
Larry Bird, he's a coal miner. He gets up every morning and goes down in the coal mines and gets down in the dirt and works. He just went to the boards and went in low, got the offensive boards, and put the ball in the hoop.
And as the Lakers seemed to wilt in the heat, the Celtics grew stronger.
Afterward, we asked Larry about it, and he said, "Oh hell, it's hotter back home playing in French Lick." It was completely magnificent in that game because it just showed mind over matter. Larry Bird went 15 for 20, had 34 points and 17 rebounds, and that was the defining game of that series.
The Lakers were beaten soundly. They seemed unnerved, unable to respond. The Celtics smoked L.A. 121-103.
We had given away a couple of games. We had missed free throws. The choke label started to come out.
Time was running out for the Lakers. Their overwhelming confidence was gone.
I think they were in our heads at that time, and they sort of had our number.
Magic had been having his problems. Hounded by Dennis Johnson, Magic found it hard to get the L.A. offense in gear. And the Celtics had turned Laker mistakes into easy baskets. The Lakers couldn't solve the Celtic defense, and the Celtics were running away with the championship. The Lakers were frustrated and looking for revenge.
We really got into a retaliatory type of mentality.
James Worthy decked Cedric Maxwell, perhaps in retaliation, perhaps to psych his teammates. But late in the third period, the Celtics were in command, and Laker coach Pat Riley was struggling to come up with a solution.
I groped right for the right player. I groped for Byron Scott. And old Scotty came in, and he's the one that really was the catalyst at turning the whole thing around for us.
The rookie guard who had arrived in the Norm Nixon trade hit from the outside when Kareem was double-teamed. He snaked a key steal and put in a sweet dipsy doodle of his own. Byron Scott rose to the occasion and almost by himself drove the Lakers to tie the game. Then Abdul-Jabbar took over. Although plagued that morning by another crushing migraine, Kareem played at his height. In a rare pregame locker room speech, he had reminded his teammates about will and desire and victory coming from within, and he demonstrated all of that and more. He was playing with passion and pride.
You hear a lot about Celtic tradition and Celtic pride. We have some proud athletes here too, and they're not the only team with pride.
Kareem finished with 30 points and 10 rebounds, and the Lakers won going away.
Even though we got Game 6, I didn't feel good about where we were.
The Celtics headed home, where the Lakers will try to do it again.
Like 1979 all over again. Down to one game for Bird and Magic.
If everybody had to look at it, probably would have said this is going to be a 7-game series.
I thought we'd sweep them in 4, but it's went a little bit longer. Now we just have to do it in 7.
Comes down to Game 7, Boston Garden, the first Game 7 against the Lakers since 1962 in Boston. And Bird, the whole thing coming to a peak. It was a very, very highly anticipated game of basketball.
All the marbles. We go in the locker room. Everybody's a little tense, and Danny Ainge goes out and gets a heart monitor. It felt like Kevin's chest, and there was no heartbeat. So, damn, you're dead, man. You're going to play. So he comes up to me and says, puts it on my chest. I said, boy, your heart's beating pretty strong. I said, you know what? You guys just climb on my back. You get on my back. I'll take you through this championship.
Boston had lost only once at home all playoffs, and the riotous Garden atmosphere inspired them again. But the Lakers were not bowing to tradition. They were making their run at the crown, and the score was tied at the end of the first quarter. Great games bring out great performances, and Cedric Maxwell responded to the call. A former playoff MVP, Maxwell had become a role player in Boston's offense. But in Game 7, he heard his number called a lot. He worked outside and down low, forcing his way to the basket, and he spent a lot of time at the free throw line.
Maxwell hadn't performed. He just put on a show. It was incredible, the level he went to. He was just relentless.
In the third quarter, the Celtics opened it up with quick hands, bruising defense, and some accurate outside shooting from reserve Celtic role players like Danny Ainge. The Lakers had lost their composure, and when Boston scored the last 9 points and stretched their lead to 13, the Celtics seemed only moments away from their goal.
It's the only time I ever felt that. There ain't no way they're walking out here with a win. No way.
But the Lakers had their own pride, and in the fourth quarter, they stormed back, hitting the boards, playing with championship intensity, and cutting into the lead. Down to 5, minute and a half to go, and the Lakers looked poised for one of their classic runs. But DJ stripped Magic and raced for the hoop. Cooper pinned him clean, saving a game breaker, and the Lakers raced back. Worthy hit, and the lead was down to 3. The Lakers moved down court. They could close within 1. But Magic Johnson forced it up. The ball turned over, and Dennis Johnson again went to the hole. This time he was fouled. Pat Riley could see the championship fading. Johnson's free throws brought the lead to 5, and Riley could stop the clock, but not the Celtics celebration.
We knew we were getting beat. We weren't going to come back, and the celebration started, and that's not a very good place to be when you're getting beat, by the Celtics in the 7th game.
You get frustrated when you know that you're a better team, especially with Larry beating me. That stuck with me for a long time.
Went through the tough of the tough. We went through the Lakers to get there.
Absolutely no one believed it. But the fact of the matter is we believed in ourselves, and that was a lot because of the leadership Larry had.
The Boston Celtics are the NBA World Champions.
Yeah, I told Larry Bird, the way you played in that series, the way you conducted yourself and the way you played made me proud to be a Celtic.
I hope they spend the rest of their life thinking that they should have beaten us. I hope it's aggravating Kareem and Magic right now.
I pride myself in being the guy who's going to win it for us and deliver under pressure. And it didn't happen.
I hope he was hurting. Hope it killed him. He made some bad plays down the stretch, and nobody in there was happier than me. Not only winning the game makes you feel good, but just knowing the other guy's suffering, and he was.
I remember after the game that both he and I were in the showers crying and stayed in there for about 35, 40 minutes. It was hard because not only had we lost to the Boston Celtics, he had lost to his nemesis, Larry Bird.
I think he just made me just like him more, because he was that good. And I think you be jealous. You're jealous a little bit.
Larry, does this get you even with Magic for what happened between Michigan State and Indiana State all those many years ago? We're professionals now, but I won this one for Terre Haute.
Well, it was a big deal. And I remember asking Quinn Buckner about it afterwards. They had a celebration in downtown Boston after they won the championship. And, it was unusual for Larry to have these little outbursts, as Quinn would call them. But, about 11:30 at night, finally he turned to Quinn. He goes, I got him. I finally got him. And he was talking about Magic.
I took a media beating. Tragic Magic. This is why we say Larry Bird is better. It's probably the first time ever in my life I was depressed. And I didn't want people to see me. It was something I never dealt with in my life.
The league was rejoicing too. Game 7 of the '84 series was one of CBS's highest-rated telecasts of the year, and the highest-rated game the NBA had ever produced.
All of a sudden, whether it was at CBS or Madison Avenue, the sports writers around the country became a phenomenon. What is happening here? The absolute foundation in this resurgence was the Celtics and the Lakers Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
What a great story of the 1984 NBA Finals between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you comment down below your thoughts. Make sure you subscribe to ItzJustJP for more stories and more content. I'm JP. We'll see you in the next video.